Today we're going to answer the IELTS speaking test question, what do you do when you have a holiday? Specifically, I'm going to give you a range of ideas for how you can expand your answer and achieve a higher score. Hi, my name's Vic and this is episode 21 of the IELTS with Vic podcast. Remember, if you want a free copy of the podcast transcript, just head over to my IELTS blog to request it. The link, as always, is in the show notes. Let's get started with today's topic then. What do you do when you have a holiday? The first thing to do is clarify that holiday and vacation basically refer to the same idea. I'm British, so my default is to say holiday. I think you're more likely to hear an American use the word vacation. The other thing that is worth clarifying is what we mean when we're talking about a holiday. If you work Monday to Friday and rest on Saturday and Sunday, we would just say that you get weekends off work. Saturday and Sunday are your regular days off. In the UK, it's standard for employees with permanent contracts to get a fixed number of annual leave days per year. These are days when they can take a holiday and they will still be paid. It's common for a worker to have to use a booking system to get these holidays approved by their employer. To clarify, the term annual leave basically means paid vacation. So when I'm talking about taking a holiday, I will generally be thinking about what I'm doing during these special paid annual leave days. Personally, the first thing that I would talk about regarding holidays is whether I choose to travel or stay at home. Let's begin with different types of holiday that involve travelling. Here are a few examples. During my holidays, I like to travel abroad. When I take a holiday, I like to travel in my own country. When I get time off work, I like to do tourism near where I live. There are some specific vocabulary items for different types of holiday in English. For example, a package holiday is one where you pay a company to arrange all of the details for you, such as flights and accommodation. Perhaps you like to stay at a resort during your vacation. If so, you might go full board where all of the food is included, or half board where only certain meals are included. Personally, I like to plan my own adventures, so I tend to go backpacking when I get holiday time. I use online booking platforms to reserve rooms in various types of accommodation, such as hostels, B&Bs and homestays, depending on where I'm travelling. I do also stay in hotels sometimes. It depends where we're going. Let's return to the question for a moment. It was, what do you do when you have a holiday? So far, we've mentioned different types of holiday, but to answer the question properly, we need to talk about some of the things we actually do. Here are just a few examples that spring to mind for me. I like to explore new cities. I like to go hiking in the mountains. I enjoy swimming and diving. I love taking cooking courses with local people. I love to visit museums and local heritage sites. I like to go on arranged tours. Those are just a few examples, but of course there are many more things that people do on their holidays, such as different types of sports or organised activities. It's definitely worth taking a few minutes to write a list of the things that you like to do. If there are any activities you can't yet talk about in English, it would be a good idea to research those after the episode, in case you get this question in the test. Something else that you might want to mention is who you spend your holidays with. Do you prefer to holiday alone, with a friend, a group of friends, or with family? Or perhaps you like to join package tours. For example, after my uncle passed away, my elderly auntie started to go on organised tours with groups of strangers and ended up making loads of new friends that way. How about you? Who do you prefer to spend your holiday time with? We haven't yet spoken about the length of holidays. Some people prefer to use all of their annual leave at one time and take one longer vacation for 2 or 3 weeks. Other people like to book multiple short holidays throughout the year to break things up a little. I know one person who uses most of their annual leave by booking many Fridays and Mondays off, so they basically have a lot of 4-day weekends throughout the year. These can also be called long weekends. How about you? What do you prefer to do? Take fewer longer holidays or more regular short holidays? Some people prefer to stay at home during their holiday for various reasons. In recent years, the word staycation has become popular. This is a word created from a blend of the words stay and vacation. The definition of a staycation is a holiday that you take at home or near your home rather than travelling to another place. If you prefer to take staycations, you will still be able to develop your answer in the exam. You just need to talk about the different things that you do during your staycation. For example, I like to catch up on my sleep. I like to spend time with family and friends. I spend time working on my house. I use the time to catch up on chores and life admin. I don't do anything specific, I just like to take it easy. Earlier I mentioned about the person who books lots of 4-day weekends. We can also refer to these short holidays as weekends away or mini breaks. A mini break is just a very short holiday, and the definition of a long weekend is Saturday and Sunday with at least one extra day added, either Friday or Monday. To put these into example sentences, we can say, I like to take regular weekends away. I enjoy taking mini breaks. I love having long weekends. One of the things that we haven't discussed yet is eating. Many people I know absolutely love to eat when they're on vacation. Personally, I like to find out what the special local dishes are, also called the local specialities. Some people enjoy researching the famous local restaurants and will go and visit those during their vacation. I enjoy wandering around street food markets, especially night food markets, in various parts of Asia. In fact, one of my favourite holiday activities is to wander around night food markets, tasting delicious treats, and watching the various stall owners make their food. I also quite enjoy trying the different drinks in the places that I visit. For example, the coffee and tea culture can be quite different between different countries, so that is something I like to experience. How about you? Do you enjoy tasting the local food and drinks when you go on holiday? Or do you prefer to find local restaurants which serve your favourite foods? Something else that people often do on holiday is to shop for souvenirs, either for themselves or to give as a gift. When I was a child, it was common to bring back candy from your holidays to share with the kids at school, and adults often bring back sweet treats to share with their colleagues at work. How about you? Do you shop for souvenirs? Finally then, I think something most of us do on holiday is to take photos. Personally, I take tons of photos when I'm travelling, and then share my favourites with my friends on social media. If you need a reminder of some phrases for talking about taking photos, then check out episode 17 of the podcast. You might also find episode 4 about free time useful for review, as well as episode 9 where I talk about hobbies. To summarise then, you could mention whether you like to travel or stay close to home and who you spend your time with. You should definitely say what types of activities you do, as this is important for answering the question fully. You could also mention something about any special foods or drinks that you enjoy, or any other special features of your holidays. Remember, you don't have to try and fit all of those things in, just focus on the most relevant aspects for your situation. The next step is to create your own personalised answer to the question, what do you do when you have a holiday? Why not post a few sentences in the comments to get some extra practice? Go ahead, tell us what you do when you have a holiday. To finish the topics from the previous YouTube poll, next episode we're going to cover the question, where did you grow up? Thanks for joining me today. And don't forget, if you want a free copy of the podcast transcript, then head over to my IELTS blog and fill in the form. See you next episode for lots of useful phrases for talking about where you grew up. Thanks for listening and have a great day.